Welcome back, everybody, to my channel. Hope everyone's doing perfect and fine out there, and you keep your eyes and your mind and your ears open. But just coming on here to finish reading this book right here. It's been taking me forever, but I've been just really busy, just trying to stay afloat, trying to be like Mike and fly. But I wanted to say, first of all, the movie Disclosure was trash, and I just seen it the other day, and it was like a bunch of, it was like more like whimsical, but the information was there. They did show a lot of like, remote viewing, but in a different technique using a object, like to see anywhere. And it reminded me of that dream I shared with you guys a while ago too. But it was not like that. But it was like it was a sphere ball, and I could see the whole universe. And it was like a GPS or something. I was like scrolling, and I could see zoom in, and there was like a like a beacon in the dream. It was like a red little light flashing, and I had it in my hand. And I was like, oh dang! I woke up, but yeah, that thing was like an object like that, like a rod or something. You hold it, and then like you go there and pop up physically, and you can see these. You can like take possession of the body and all this stuff. But I thought the movie was trash though. Like honestly, it was not like. Um, it was just like it was like it reminded me of like E.T. or something like style, try to make it like so yeah. And then Spielberg, he's very connected with the White House and all them people and has information. So I'm thinking like a lot of the videos and the stuff that were like reenacting and they were like, releasing to the public, I think like is somewhat real, like how they're releasing documents right now, but they haven't gone that far. And it's barely the beginning. It's barely the fourth dump, by Trump. Shit. So it's like barely the beginning. I think of the disclosure. But in that movie, they were showing like the alien bodies, or showing Nixon and this and that back then. So I think he was privileged to see the videos, right? Like maybe see the all this information to make it part of his movie and stuff. So I think that's what's going on there too. That it's somewhat real. You know how they're disclosing it, they're showing it, but it's like movie, but it's not yet released yet. So I think they're already going down the line with all the information, and it's barely the fourth one. The fourth release. So who knows how further it's gonna go? It would be like 1 to 20. Is it gonna be 1 through 100? Like files? How many files? You have like 80 years worth, and it's barely the fourth one. So I don't think they're anywhere close to like um, showing everything, And so we just got to keep waiting, and it's just wild right now, the whole world, and you know maybe we can see the spirals and the signs, and this book can show us, and it has shown me a lot of stuff too. So I hope when you guys get a chance, you guys can read this one and then the second one. And I heard there's a volume 3, but I'm not too sure because I have seen it, but I don't know if it's real. But the second one, I got to like halfway, and it was like the meditating, the astral projection, like seeing, you know, like the future, the past, like remembering like your dreams, and then like future events. And I think like everything's like all related in that movie. It was like kind of like it reminded me of my experience too, but it made me think like the aliens, right? Like they're shapeshifters, the grays and stuff. They're like dough. They could be like biologically kind of like the reptilians, but not necessarily them, but like how they're able to shapeshift, and it got me thinking about that Pokemon movie too, because I just seen it, and that character um, Ditto, right? Like a dough ball that just like can morph into like basically anything. So I was thinking, like these robots that they're making, there was just one that's like that kind of looks resembles that. Like it looks like skin. It's just skin right now, and it's just like moving. And I think they named it Oscar too, like that one. And so it made me think like you make a genetically like a skin, like a it would be like whatever you want, like an agent, or it can be like you can use it for like anything. Like so you make like an organism like that, like a skin, and that can morph into like basically anything it sees or it touches. Like gets a piece of hair DNA, it like some process like that, or it just mimics like by licking. But I think like this is like really happening. Like you would be able to make like a secret agent, right? Like in the movie, like Pokemon. Like I know it's just a movie, but I think it's somewhat like reality because the holographics and the DNA and the nanotech and everything is like they're gonna make synthetic life forms. Like you basically can create any kind of pattern and everything. You have the basic life, the DNA to build building blocks. So you design it and tinker it however you want, and then you encage it in a nanoball, something like that, So I think it's like fairly possible that this technology is like really real. And yeah, that experience stuff, that movie, I thought it was like not the best. It was like reminded me of like 80s ET style. It's the same director, but like kind of like fast, adventurous, whimsical. Like they couldn't catch them. Like they try to like just touch different topics really fast, but I feel like they could have been more detailed with like the information, putting it out there. If he's privileged to know all these things, and they could have got more into the specs of like the information, the videos. I mean, they showed like little snippets, like this and this and that, like UFO, the aliens, and that. So I'm waiting. I'm thinking like since the movie, is depicting that, and right now they're releasing the documents. I'm saying like eventually they're gonna come out. Like I think the process is show us all the recent videos, right? And this time, and then start going back, show the older stuff, then she'll like get us more ready for like yeah they're here, they're working with the government, and start releasing stuff like that, like ambassadors from different planets, or like that are here on the planet, and eventually they're gonna like start merging with us and being more in public. And how they showed in the movie how the alien came out and no one was like not really like surprised, but it was just like that was like the normal. So like all these different aliens and different people, we get used to these creatures, these aliens. Some are counter, like the counterparts are like friendly. So there's also the threats. So I think they're gonna start introducing us to that stuff, and then like Space Force, building the Space Federation in the next like 10 years, like building that up, and the technology and situating the space, all that stuff. So I think something like that's gonna happen. A slow process. Releasing the UFOs they're chasing, and then it's like the ETs that they captured, and then it's like the deals they made, and things that are going on, like, and then it'll probably be like how in that movie Disclosure, like, oh, the aliens, probably like, they made it seem like this year, but it seems like it could be like a little further out, but it's like a process, like stages, like um the informations and that, because they're like the experiencers, you know, like people like me and like different people all over the world in different timelines and this and that are like, it's like why like what, I ain't special. um and it just makes you think like, why are they just picking all these random people like that have nothing to do with nothing, you know? And especially in my experience, it happened when I was a child, like 6 years old, and even at that time, like no one believed me, like all the stuff I was like experiencing and that I experienced, and it's like, oh, you're crazy, like don't, you know, like it's not real, like, and then it just keeps getting pushed back, and eventually it just became dormant. And it was just like a little thing, but in the last like 15 years, like it's like all these thoughts and things that happened started like manifesting, and I felt like it was like for a purpose, like it was like building up because they were here and it was coming, and all these things that, you know, like we're gonna go to war and it's gonna blow up, right? Like how they keep stressing, like, and I think like the Greys are probably like something like, yeah, like the humans, different timelines, maybe that's what everyone's like kind of started thinking. But it was like, why are we all thinking the same thing? Is it like they're putting it in our heads, or like it's like all the experiences that we've been through, like are like it, that could be it, you know? And then in the movie they show how they're morphing into like different animals and stuff. So they're like skinwalkers. So it made me think like maybe they're like a yeah, genetically modified you know, organism that can morph into like different, you know, people to like not, we won't be afraid of them. But I think they're not like the reptilians, but I heard they are like cousins, so they have like similar traits and stuff. So, and if you think about it, like humans, like we have DNA from all kinds of animals, species, supposedly. You know, there's like, we have the web fingers, we have the gills, you know, we have a tail when we're growing in the egg, so in the fetus, you know, the little, you know, so it's like right now genetics is they're advancing, and it was so strange because like when the AI Gemini came out, it's not strange, but it's like they are hearing everything, and how, you know, they're busting people for all these different things, like absurd things, and but like, so they're watching that, they're watching like the things that people are creating with the AI, because like last year, or yeah, like 2 years ago when I first started with it, like when I came up with the concept of the water car and this and that. But we also like, I didn't publish those videos or the art, but I should. But it was basically like we created like material with the AI that could, like first we created the suits, right, the bio suits, the moisture suits, and then we created different things that like camping equipment. It was basically like a camping tent, and it captured the moisture from the air, and then it converted it, and it funneled it to like a bag of water in the front of your camping door. It was like different styles, and so it was like it was a material like what AI, you know. So we created all these things and art, and the other day I read like China was like doing the same thing, like created a jacket that could create water out of moisture. So if you're hiking, you know, you're up there and it starts creating the water. So it's like, it's that like these ideas are just everywhere right now, and with the AI it's going to make it more faster and easier to create things, right? And then you have the 3D printers, and they're going to be everywhere, and you just like in Jarvis, you know, Iron Man, where he's like, Jarvis, create this, and you zoom in and you like tinker, and you like, because it's like the technology is building fast. Like in our mind, it's just like it's faster, right? And so something like that, it was like, I think that's what we're heading into, like where it's like whatever you create in your mind or whatever you want, you like, oh, create it right now, and then you might have a 3D printer print it out, or like a company that you just send your you know, your idea or your sketches. Like eventually, like I think Gemini is going to be more how everything like blueprints, creating like design, like detailed designing, and because it tells you right there, like, do you want to? I think you got to pay for all that stuff. Like, I think eventually it's gonna be like that, like actual like specs, because it did show me like when I created the biosuit, like how to make it, and I mean, you need the resources and the capital, right? So like that's like the thing, having that in the space, to create like basically the water thing that creates water, like everyone's creating, and it's like going everywhere viral with creating water out of the air. So that's like the type of technologies that are like right around the corner, and then you create your whole house that just captures the moisture in the water, and you have your gallons underneath the concrete, and you store your water under there, and underground, so it's like stuff like that in the future. And the stuff I was talking about, like using the wood of DNA, plants, different trees, and instead of cutting them down, you get their DNA and you 3D print a tree, a wood, or like you make them the material like that. And if you want like some expensive oak or something, you 3D print it. Right, it'll probably be really expensive at first, but eventually the tech will, like, because it's going to be in demand, and then it's going to be like everywhere, and you just 3D print different materials and minerals and different things. And the other day too, they just released that they're going to start putting the genome of all the animals in the data, the genome, the project. But it's like, that's like obvious, like what I came up in my stories, like the one a couple years ago with the AI, was like that, like when they came out with the 5D memory crystals, and that's when I realized, oh, though they can put all the plant DNA, the human DNA, every life form on that crystal, right, the building blocks, and that's when I was like, oh shit, like when I came up with different variations of the story. But that NVIDIA AI sucks now. Like, I stopped using it, and they just got really bad, and they can't even generate the real images, and a lot of the story, like you write, it's just like kind of, they take it away, and then you got to keep editing it, and it's just like, I don't know. But like in that story, what I realized, like, right, they have the animal DNA, they're putting it in there, right, and they're storing it, and then say billions of years from now, some alien race finds it, and then they want to make the animals the dominant intelligent life form, and then they make them like humanoidish, they can give them legs and arms and speech. And I think that's what kind of like an alternate universe or something like that, like they send the crystals out, like how I created that short story. But there was different variations, but I don't think I ever published that one. But it was basically like, I think I gotta go back and watch it, but like they say like another alien finds the crystals in space. I think I already talked about this, but it's just interesting that they find it, and then they're like, oh shit, like humans are like all corrupted and this and that, and they're like, well, let's make the animals the dominant intelligent life forms with speech, intelligence, all that. So I think that's like maybe like like the Lyrans were somehow like, they're like that too, created in their way. But it just, you can create a whole planet for them, a whole civilization, and you can call it Eden. But that's just like things I'd be thinking about. I think about, and I think something like that is going on. But let me get back into this book, because I guess I only have 7 minutes of recording time, because I have so much data I need to erase. But yeah, what do you think? You guys like Disclosure? I think it was trash. A lot of people like it. They're like, oh my gosh. I was like, Yeah, but it wasn't like blown away. Like, oh my gosh, it was not like, like I needed to know more specs, more details. Like, it was just like there, presented, videos, and like remote viewing using this other technique, and you know, um, and there could be a technology like that. The I think they could have it better where it can help you access your remote viewing skills more better. You hold the ball or whatever, the tracker, and you just like visualize like, okay, where's this person? Is it real? I don't know. How can you create a material that way? Meta material that can detect every life form or thing on this planet. Huh? How could you do it? How? Okay. I thought I had it, but it looked like a rock, right? So it was there. It was there for a second. Um, how would it be? How would it be? How would you? How? How? Do you know? Do you know how it would be? How would you create a device that you can touch and it can see anywhere in the world? I mean, I think right here they show the world, but maybe like it could be the whole planet or the universe or like anywhere you can see, because they didn't really say how far you could watch, but they were saying that the person before could control and communicate with the alien, but no one knows where where the alien's at. Like, could you communicate as a communicator across the universe, right? So I think it's plausible, like a tech like that is well, if it's in the mind, right, you're honing in, and then maybe that just helps you amplify your remote viewing. Like you're just, and you're just like you're there, and then it was taking a toll on his body. Like all that stuff. So let's get into this. Spirals on a photograph. So this is what I was reading a couple months ago, like 6 months ago, but I just been so busy, and then I'm like, no one cares about this channel. I mean, I'm losing viewers and subscribers because how I was told you guys I was promoting my old videos, but I thought it was just like promoting for people to see. I mean, yeah, it tells you want to promote for views and likes, and I did both, and so those people weren't really real people. I think. I mean, they're probably real, but they're not like very. You know how it goes. Like you subscribe to channels and then you unsubscribe like the next day or the second time you see their video, or like you're like, oh yeah, this is not for me. So whoever's this isn't for, good goodbye and thank you for at least giving it a try. But the people that are here that want to support this channel, this small channel, and want to help me like do the things I want to do, and because I do want to create like a little lab. That's like my main goal, create a lab, and I want to be the first to 3D print a strawberry, and I already got the with the AI, and then I do have the PCA formula, how to break down the algebra. But I suck at algebra, but we have the AI and all this stuff. But once I go back to school, I'm gonna get a tutor and for like algebra to be more faster with it, so I don't have to rely on like AI or whatever. But yeah, with AI, like I literally like a month or two when I started really thinking. But I have commented on different like channels of like the first thing that's going to be printed like a fruit is going to be a strawberry, because it was in the Matrix. It was in that movie, The Matrix, right? And knowing more things about biotech, back then I didn't know as much, but and then it was like, oh, it's all like relevant. It's all hitting me. So in that movie, the Revelations, or the last one where they're like, oh, it's just they just made a video game and this and that, and like, but basically like that nano nanoparticle little not a little, but it was like a person, like an AI person from the computer world that was in the physical world, right? In the Matrix that was like broken down our reality, right? Like they blew each other up, whatever happened, the war with that robots and shit. So and that they're like, oh, we have the genome, we have the building blocks of the strawberry in the fucking data in the DNA, and like basically the fucking computer, right? So so that's exactly what they're doing. They're like putting all the fruits, the veggies, like, you know, the humans, the animals, basically all the information in the computer, right? So they have it stored. So like in the video games, so like when the video games get more advanced in the future, right? Like when people when you're actually like uh dematerializing and getting uploaded in the video games, like in like Tron, like, because that technology, I'm pretty sure it's like real, right? And because that's the same tech that the aliens have when they dematerialize you and they take in the spaceship and they fucking upload you and they fucking clone you and they scan your mind and then they fucking stamp you with the stamp, you know? Like the one I got, well, I got one right here. I ripped it out. I commented on a lot of channels. It was like a crazy, like, little brain thing, you know? And I used to pick at it and rip it, and until eventually became fat. But it was flat until it came flat. But it was like a bump, and it was like little receptors. From what I remember now, they're like little, look like stick antennae with little circles on top, like receptors, like white receptors, and it didn't click until I seen like this way back. I can't even like recollect like where I seen it, but it was some a tech like that, like a chip sensor that was like that, right? And it was like something like that they put on me, and I would always tell people it was like a sensor, communicator, tracker, you know, and I would get like ideas or things would come, like I felt like energy would just like, you know, come, and just like that kind of, you know, nasty. But anyways, yeah, don't take it that way, but it was like that. It was like feel like radiating energy or something, right? Like I wish I didn't take it off, honestly, because they give me something and I ripped it apart. I ripped it, I broke it, I freaking